without any stars, they didn't really have anything they did that could just be a go-to and beat teams that.
Back to the ScoBuff Sports Live Show. We hope you had a wonderful break. I'm your host, Gia Henriken.
And I'm your other host, Hannah Howell. We have some great sports to catch you up on, so let's get into it.
Over the holidays, Colorado introduced Fernando Lovo as its 7th athletic director in history. Lovo was hired from New Mexico to take over for Rick George and spoke to the media for the first time last week. He emphasized how he sees Boulder becoming a championship destination in the national landscape. Lovo attended both men's and women's basketball games in the past week and is already proving his promises for fan involvement and investment.
The Buffs will be represented in the upcoming 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympics in a way that seems only fitting. Ryder Sarchett, class of 2028, has been named to the United States Alpine Ski Team, becoming the 44th Olympian in Colorado ski team history. In Sarchett's freshman year alone, he won second-team honors in the All-American Slalom and Rocky Mountain Intercollegiate Ski Association. He will compete in the Alpine skiing competition, which begins on February 4th. Team USA's Alpine team will head to Milan in February, hoping to rebound after an 11th place finish at the previous Olympics in China.
As the transfer portal comes to a close, Colorado has experienced some significant losses. Top wide receiver Omarion Miller left for the Arizona State Sun Devils for his remaining season. Standout safety Tawfiq Bayar departed for Texas, and Imid did a defensive and London Merritt for Clemson. What may be the biggest loss of all is star offensive tackle Jordan Seaton. While his next destination remains unclear, his departure, along with several others, leaves Colorado facing a major rebuild heading into next season. For more on who the Buffs have brought in through the portal, here's Harrison and Shane with Buff Banter.
It's another year of big changes in Boulder. Alongside Shane Holcomb, I'm Harrison Simeon. Welcome to the first Buff Banter of 2026 and the first Buff Banter since the opening of the transfer portal window. It's been pretty chaotic, hasn't it?
That's right, and Deion Sanders, every single season it seems like he's bringing in a new roster, new faces to this Colorado Buffaloes team. We'll get into those key prospects today.
Yeah, 38 out, 36 in, the number 18 transfer portal class in the nation according to 24/7 Sports, number 4 in the Big 12. And just going down the list, it's pretty crazy. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 4 receivers, 1 tight end, 6 O-linemen, 11 D-linemen, 3 linebackers, 3 cornerbacks, 4 safeties, 1 kicker, and counting. It closes at the end of today. But Shane, who are your favorite portal additions so far?
Well, what stands out to me, Harrison, is the group of wide receivers they brought in, right?
Yes.
Highlighted by DeAndre Moore. He's coming in from Texas. He's a guy with a lot of big game experience in the SEC. He actually caught a touchdown pass as well against Arizona State, the Peach Bowl game last season. And this is a guy that's probably going to be your WR1 when it comes to Omarion Miller going out, DeAndre Moore coming in. He also has a relationship with Brennan Marion, the offensive coordinator that CU hired this offseason. He was recruited by him in 2022 when he went to Texas.
Yeah, the receivers look really good. They also brought in the nation's leading receiver from last year, Danny Scudero from San Jose State, Cam Perry from Miami of Ohio, Ernest Campbell from where Marion was at Sacramento State. The receivers look really good, but I'm looking at these D linemen, and they look great. Just all around, there's all sorts of D linemen that they got, both on the edge and in the interior. Santana Hopper from Tulane, my favorite of the bunch, all conference at Appalachian State, then all conference at Tulane last season where they made the college football playoff. A big contributor to that defense. Ezra Christensen, a star with 6 sacks at New Mexico State last season. Balansama Kamara, maybe a more under-the-radar name from UAlbany. But that's where Jared Verse, a rookie of the year in the NFL, came from. Maybe some development.
Shout out Central New York.
Yeah, a little lineage there. Toby Aneen was a beast at North Dakota State. Visited Colorado a couple years back with the Bison. And Dylan Manuel, a nice space eater in the middle at D-tackle. They needed a little bit of interior after the first few additions they got were on the edge, but I like these D linemen a lot.
Well, Harrison, the group of talent and the group of schools they're bringing in signals to me that they're taking a different approach than Colorado did last offseason, right? Because these guys are from maybe lesser known schools, but what encourages me is Deion Sanders and their coaching staff. They're telling the media they're spending a lot of time in the facility, doing the talent work, doing the film analysis. This shows me and gives me proof that they're doing what they're saying they're doing because they're getting guys that maybe aren't the biggest of names, but all you can do, if you play football and you play good, that could be the difference in this year's being better than last year's class.
Yeah, what impresses me is the production. Last year, the defense was just all around god-awful, and especially the D-line, where they got the most of their additions, it needed juice. The pass rush, not good. 2 years back, they led the Big 12 in sacks, but then all of a sudden falls off a cliff. They got some unlikely sources. They went to some unlikely places, but they got some all-conference guys, and we'll get into a few more of those later. But Shane, what position group do you feel like still might need some work heading into 2026?
What I'm looking at is the linebacker core, right? You mentioned the defense was super soft last season, especially over the middle of the field. They got Leona from Texas, who's a standout recruit, right? This is a guy who can be a leader in that locker room, but also on the field, right? It seems like teams were just figuring out and kind of just dismantling this Colorado defense last season over the middle of the field, whether that be the slant route or just running the ball with the quarterback, right? And Leona's a guy that, again, big name experience from Texas as well. He's someone that I think can hopefully bring some stability to this defense and make them a little bit more intimidating, right? I just don't think this team was intimidated at all to any offensive opponent last year. You saw that in the Big 12 play with 8 losses.
Yeah, another guy at linebacker I like a lot, Gideon ESPN is his middle name, Lamprin, from Bowling Green, extremely
what a birth
productive.
certificate. Wow.
I know.
I didn't see a proof of that, though.
One of the best names in Colorado history, in my opinion.
I love
But
that.
extremely productive at Bowling Green. Nice addition from the
Colorado Buffaloes have hit 10 wins on the ACHA season, and they are hungry for more. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to beautiful Boulder, Colorado, and the Boulder Rec Center on the University of Colorado campus, home of Colorado Buffaloes women's hockey. It is the second matchup of the season series between the Buffaloes and the visiting New Mexico Lobos. We saw the Buffaloes take down New Mexico last night by a final score of 4-0. As we welcome you into ScoBuff Sports, my name is Paxton Haynes, joined as always by Kieran Warger. And Kieran, we saw the Buffs put up quite a performance yesterday, and I'm excited to see the same thing in Gay.
Absolutely, Paxton. I think quite a performance. That is quite the understatement. I mean, it was a Herculean performance by Colorado once again, as we've seen all season. But here are the starting lineups.
Kieran, we've seen this Buffaloes team rolling since the turn of the calendar into January, especially that first line, Mia Fischelli, Natalie Ewald, and Anna Masiello. Fischelli had 2 goals last night, and Masiello with an assist. Just how good have they been, and how crucial are they going to be for this team in this game and moving forward?
Well, Paxton, I think you said it perfectly. I mean, this line has been absolutely electric so far this season. Obviously, Mia Fischelli, the leader of that line, 2 goals last night, as you said. But obviously here today, they took a dominating victory 4-0 over the New Mexico Lobos yesterday. 45-5 was the shot differential, and that line played a huge part. So I would expect them to continue that same energy coming in here today, here in Boulder.
Absolutely, not to mention that power play that has been so good coming in. They have scored, they were 1 for 1 yesterday, and they scored 3 goals on the power play in the last 2 games. They add Abigail Piatigorsky in there on the power play unit. She's often sitting up in front of the net. Just how good has that power play unit been so far in these last 2 games?
Oh, it's been absolutely incredible. You see them able to penetrate that offensive zone while they're on the man advantage. And you saw it yesterday, Paxton, that power play goal. Absolutely electric. Just they do not slow down once they're on that advantage. And they'll continue that here today, but now we're underway here in Boulder, Paxton.
The puck is down. The Colorado Buffaloes in white, the New Mexico Lobos in turquoise. As here comes Anna Masiello above the hashes. He'll swing down to the left circle and take a shot. Goes wide. Rebound to Fischelli, goes off the skates. Puck is loose down in the corner. Another a chance right off the bat for Colorado. Puck gets swung over to the side for Sophie O'Brien. O'Brien had a goal yesterday. It's Anna Masiello below the net. Gets some help from Fischelli. Mia Fischelli, 2 goals yesterday. She comes above the hash. She takes a shot. Blocker save, rebound. Buffalo still with the puck. Masiello again. Back up top to her defenseman, O'Brien. Down to Ewald. Natalie Ewald gets to Masiello, who takes a shot. Blocked by Phillips. Phillips rims it around. O'Brien keeps it in. O'Brien meets Masiello down in the corner. Back to O'Brien. She'll chase after it down to the corner. Looking up top. Now cutting down towards the middle. Sophie O'Brien swinging around. Down to the left circle. She takes a shot off the side of the cage. Puck's going to find its way back to O'Brien. Piatigorsky on the ice, calling for it at the blue line. Masiello down low. Looking up top for a pass. She finds Fischelli. Fischelli takes a shot, goes wide. Buffalo's applying pressure early here. Masiello finds, that's Juliana McDonald now fresh on the ice. Back to Masiello. Pass over into the skates of Fischelli. Masiello's going to head out. Buffalo's staying on the pressure in the offensive zone. They just keep bringing in new reinforcements. Here's Piatigorsky. Piatigorsky over to Cadden. Puck skips on her and heads down to the corner. Over to Rowan Nasty. Nasty flips it for Piatigorsky. Here's Piatigorsky. Puts it in front of the net, goes through the crease. Chasing after the puck. The Buffalo's got an entire line change while still keeping offensive pressure here in the first couple minutes of the game. And that puck finally comes out. It's going to be icing on New Mexico. But what a start for Colorado.
Absolutely. Just doing what we saw yesterday, Paxton. Just applying that pressure in the offensive zone. Absolutely electric so far.
Yesterday, the Buffaloes beat this New Mexico team 4-0. Fischelli had 2 goals. Kieran Sullivan had 1. And then Sophie O'Brien got the 4th. Phillips gets the puck for New Mexico. Pinned up along the boards. It'll come around. Taken by Ella Hairston, who had an assist yesterday. The New Mexico player down hard on the ice. And she needs a moment. We're going to get a stoppage.
Coaching staff will come out for New Mexico. Looking at our goaltenders today, Paxton, we have a change in net for New Mexico. Sarah Olivas coming in for the Lobos from Castle Rock, Colorado. Only played in 2 games in her career as a Lobo.
Absolutely, with a .967 goals against average and .867 save percentage. And speaking of goaltenders, Kieran, we got to talk about Bella Luke yesterday.
Oh,
she had 41 saves against this Colorado team, and they were not easy saves by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, Colorado was just pouring on her, but she was ready for the task the whole way.
Absolutely. What an incredible performance. Colorado, one of the top teams in the country, 2nd team in the WWCHL. They're rolling into Boulder, and Bella Luke really held her own last night. What a Herculean performance.
As they tend to the injured player down by the goal line. We'll take a quick second. It is the captain of this New Mexico team, Kiki Longenwalter. She's not putting any weight on that right skate, but she is coming off the ice. Nice to see her get up. And Kieran, we talked about it all the time on the broadcast yesterday, just how short the roster of this New Mexico team is as a new program in the ACHA. Looks like they'll be down a player.
That's a huge loss for the Lobos here today. Only 10 players on their active roster. That number just went down to 9. But Longenwalter able to get off the ice, and she'll be looked at. We'll hope for a speedy recovery. And we were talking about this last night on the Men's D1 broadcast with Aiden Glockner, Paxton, but I mean, those boards, they are tough. These are some of the tougher boards in the league when you take a hit. So, not a great look to start out, but play resumes.
Longenwalter has one of the goals on this New Mexico team. And not only one of the better players on this New Mexico squad, the Lobos are now down their captain as we're going to get a penalty. Looks like it's going to be a hook on New Mexico. Colorado's going to head to the power play. It's Briella Kagi who's guilty for the hook. And that first is going to come out for Colorado. This Colorado power play been so good in recent days. We said it briefly there in the pregame show, Kieran. But, I mean, they are only 16% on the season, but it seems like they've really turned a corner since the start of the second half.
Absolutely. I mean, start of 2026, they're looking to improve their ability on the man advantage to finally get that percentage back up and retake this number 1 spot.
Sullivan keeps the puck in. Slides it over to Maciel. She's got room. Maciel puts it in front. Shot, score! Abigail Piatigorsky on the deflection. And Colorado breaks through on the power play. They waste no time. 1-0 Buffaloes.
Talk about perfect timing. Abigail Piatigorsky, right where she needed to be off that redirect, snuck it right over the left shoulder of Sarah Olivas. What a play by Colorado, and just like that, we're up to 1-0.
Absolutely. This is a brand new power play for this Colorado Buffaloes team. They have found something. Puck is back down, 1-0 Colorado. Piatigorsky gets her 6th of the season. The rookie centering that second line as Zoe Watson gets her first test of the night. She covers up. Watson in tonight for Colorado. She only had to make 4 saves against the Lobos yesterday, but she did make all 4 with a 171 goals against average and a 947 save percentage. It looks like that she's taken back the starting role as the goaltender for this Colorado team. We saw Shira Wine. It looks like that she had taken over that starting role for quite a while. Looks like it's back to Watson as the music overhead at the rec center keeps playing as the puck is in the New Mexico zone. It's Sophia Paulson in the lineup again today. Paulson tried to slide it up to Sullivan. It got taken for a moment by Taylor, and then by the effort of Terleska. Here comes Paulson. Paulson takes a shot. It goes wide. Cassie Grant, the puck goes through her skates. Grant in the lineup today, I should say. Sullivan, a little too far for Paulson. Should be icing on Colorado. It is. And speaking of Piatigorsky, who scored that goal on the power play, her 6th of the season, Kieran, she's coming as a rookie this year, centering that second line there on the first power play unit. She has been absolutely an incredible addition for this team.
Absolutely, Paxton, making her presence known coming in. You love to see the rookies coming in, asserting their dominance after an incredible class of seniors this past season left, but they left some pretty big shoes to fill, and Abigail Piatigorsky stepping right up.
Cassie Grant down in the corner playing her 7th game of the season today. Wearing that big number 8. Puck gets slid all the way down. Should be icing on Colorado. It is. Rowan Nasty can't win that race. As we take a look at the inaugural seasons for these two squads, this Colorado women's team has been around for 26 years now. They started at the start of the millennium in 2000. New Mexico, on the other hand, about 24 years later, they are fresh in to the ACHA. And Kieran, like we've been talking about, I'm sure we'll talk about all game long, you got to tip your cap to this program and just what they've been able to do here starting up. It's not easy at all to start a new club at a school, really, and especially in the ACHA as a team. As here comes Rowan Nasty circling around. She takes a shot and into Sarah Olivas for a save.
Yeah, you mentioned Paxton. I mean, new squads, it's going to be a rough patch to start off your first couple of years, but you got to give a ton of credit to this Lobos team stepping up, and just the fact that the game has expanded so much, especially on the women's side, is incredibly inspiring, and these Lobos are no exception.
Absolutely, and huge props. With such a short bench, these girls are playing up to 30 and more minutes per game as pass in front. Couldn't connect with Nasty. Good stick by Olivas to get it out of there. Piatagorski up to the blue line, kept in by Dupuis. She flings it down with the backhand. Piatagorski down by the goal line. Grabs it herself. Flips it up to Dupuis. Zoe Dupuis, the captain, with the drive, but she didn't get a lot of stick on it. Comes out to neutral zone. Flipped ahead there by Junta. And a nice take-to-tape pass finds Cadden. Cadden cutting right. She takes a shot blocked in front. That time by Akagi. Puck battle down in the corner. Still fighting for it now. It's Mitchell and Hairston in there. Finally, Junta's going to roll all the way around, but O'Brien is there to keep it in. A couple of bodies collide. Kept in that time by Zahn. Finally cleared out. It's Brianna Taylor turning up the other way. And a penalty coming up on Colorado. It's Abby Zahn for a hook. That is the first penalty against the Colorado Buffaloes in about 3 games. They didn't take a single one against New Mexico yesterday. They didn't take one against Denver on Monday. This Colorado team, they haven't taken very many penalties at all. They only have 76 penalty minutes on the season, which is the lowest in the WWCHL. However, this team is also 95.4% on the penalty kill.
Talk about discipline, Paxton. I mean, this team, they're going down. They're the first man advantage of the weekend for the Lobos, and this is a great opportunity for them to capitalize and show what they're made of.
Phillips and Ewald chasing after that puck down to the New Mexico zone. New Mexico has not recorded a power play goal this season on 11 opportunities. To be fair, they have only scored 3 goals as a program this season. Puck comes all the way down, tapped by Olivas, but then intercepted by Zoe Dupuis. Dupuis leaves for Fischelli. Fischelli takes a shot. Save made by Olivas. Colorado so far in the penalty kill, done well and getting a little bit of offensive generation going. We take a look at the percentages of these two teams. Like we just said, New Mexico yet to score a power play goal. They're 0%. And then Colorado just so good on the penalty kill. It doesn't matter if they're down a man. They are 95% on the season. Face-off is won by New Mexico. They try to get out, but it's kept in by Juliana McDonald. Nasty lost the puck to Luna, and it comes out to the neutral zone. Here's Sullivan. Flips over to McDonald. McDonald surveying. Colorado's going to continue to apply some offensive pressure on the kill. Here's Sullivan. Sullivan going to stand all the way down, puts it in front, but it goes through the crease. Picked up. Here comes Mexico the other way, 2-on-2 with the puck. And Sophia Luna try to leave it for Taylor. And that puck being behind Brianna Taylor causes New Mexico to be offsides. 48 seconds left to go on the Abby Zahn hooking penalty. Puck in the neutral zone. Arns takes a draw and wins it. Sullivan flips it up, and it's going to get past Hinckley and head down into her own zone. Pass too far for ACHA, and Brianna Arns is going to be there. The first one. Flipped around, 30 seconds to go in the zone penalty. Buffalo's up 1-0, 13 minutes to go in the first period. McDonald at the top, she tripped over the blue line. And it's going to come not out. McDonald kept it in. Cadden now in the left circle. Working down low. Olivas slides over. Looking for a pass is Cadden. Turning around, still holding on to that puck. Not finally bothered and pushed up against the boards by Hinckley. Cadden still with the puck. Looking for a pass. She'll just get it back up top to McDonald. McDonald back to Cadden. Zahn's out of the box. New Mexico 0 for 1 on the power play to start the day. Zahn with some skates out of the box. She takes the puck. Looking for a wraparound and a nice pad save sliding over. A second chance blocker save by Olivas. Cadden picks up the rebound. Leaves it for Sowers. Sowers had it stripped from her. It's ACHA. ACHA to Taylor. And here comes New Mexico. Stripped by Amelia Sowers. Sowers looking to turn up ice, but New Mexico on a change. Sowers lost the puck down below the goal line. Dungeon flipped it up, not out. Good forecheck still by the Buffaloes. That forecheck was so good yesterday, and they're right back at it today. Winning puck battles and keeping offensive possession. Avizon still been out there since coming out of the box. Chasing after it, hard on that forecheck, but it's going to come out into the neutral zone. Dupuis ahead for Sowers. Sowers enters right away again. Sowers got 3 defensemen to shake, and a left pad save made by Olivas. Looked like a bit of an unassuming shot there from Amelia Sowers, but Olivas had to work to make that save. Puck chips out. Oki Terleska grabs it and slides over for Dupuis. Dupuis dumps it in. Not sure she got the red line. She didn't. Icing on Colorado.
Was it Dupuis a little? Looks like she's in disbelief after that one. That was very close. But she wasn't across the red line, Paxton. You're right.
Shaking her head, not a fan of the icing call, but if you ask me, I thought she was a little short of that red line.
Yeah.
Arens wins the draw. The puck goes up into the air.
Talk about the velocity off that draw. Holy cow.
Now here's Arens. Buffalo's on a 2-on-2. Arens has got Simon. Arens takes a shot. She scores! Thank you, Madam President. Brianna Arens gets it for Colorado. 2-0. Her first of the season.
Talk about a setup. Brianna Arens right down that far side of the rink. Sneaks it right past Olivas. Olivas.
Arens finally getting her first goal of the season. She had 7 assists and finally was able to put one into the back of the net. And Kieran, you saw Emily Simon to her right on that 2-on-2. Simon in the lineup tonight, only her 3rd game of the season against this New Mexico team. We're seeing a lot of players get opportunities. Mia Fischelli across the blue line, first line out for the Buffaloes. Pad save made by Olivas. Kept in by Ewald. And then again by Masiello. She comes, she turns course. Gets it back up top for McDonald. McDonald with a drive. Blocked in front by her own teammate, Fischelli. And Fischelli looks a little bit stung by it. A couple of her teammates laughing about it on the bench. Izzy Mitchell now. Down low, leaves it for Fischelli. Fischelli tried to get in front, no one home. Brianna Taylor. But Natalie Ewald is going to win that race. Icing is waved off. Masiello tried to get ahead of Fischelli. But a good block in front. Now here comes is Tori Hedges. Hedges almost had a little something there. Now Mia Fischelli working the other way. Got 2 defensemen on her. Now just one. She takes a shot. Save made, rebound. Puck trickling along by the blue line. Tori Hedges going to scoop it up. Buffs get a change. Finally getting it out into the neutral zone. Here's Brianna Taylor. Taylor just feeds it ahead. Played there by Watson. Kind of kicked out right in front of her. She wasn't down in the butterfly. Now Piatagorski shakes a defender. Piatagorski coming in some steam over to Nasty. But that shot kicks wide. Nasty picks it up. Pinned up along the boards, bothered by Akagi, and he gets the puck off of her. Rowan Nasty gets it back. Rowan Nasty feeds it in front, but the puck chipped up into the air and couldn't get a shot opportunity for Cadden. New Mexico with a little bit more energy and pressure following that second goal. Loose puck in front. A shot from Junta. Couldn't get through. Turnover by the Buffaloes. They leave it in. Brianna Taylor goes off the pad of Zoe Watson. And here comes Alexa Cadden the other way. Buffs are going to change. Cadden's just going to head in and see what she can do with it with 4 defensemen on her. She puts it against the pads of Olivas. Picks up her own rebound. Still with it now. Now she's got some help. Here's Hairston. Hairston couldn't quite get a shot on. Ella Hairston through, cutting towards the middle. Still with that puck. Backhand try. Save made by Olivas. Amelia Sowers ahead. Pass intercepted. Brianna Taylor's going to get it out for New Mexico. Coming down the left side. Brianna Taylor's wide. Takes a shot. It goes off the stick save. And covering up is going to be Zoe Watson for her 3rd save of the night.
Talk about chances for the Lobos on that last play. In the offensive zone for Colorado. Keeping Zoe Watson on her heels, Paxton. This is the first time we've really seen it all weekend. Solid performance, I must say.
New Mexico already with 3 shots on goal. They only had 4 in the entirety of yesterday's game. Face-off taken out by Amelia Sowers. Pass is too far for Zahn. She's got to race after it with Akagi. Comes out to Junta. Junta gets it out of the zone. Over to the captain, Zoe Dupuy feeds it ahead. Would have been icing had it not been touched by Abigail Hinckley. O'Brien feeds it ahead to Terleska. Terleska to Ahrens. Ahrens the goal scorer today, or the second one. She takes a shot, and that high save made by Olivas. Ahrens feeling today another good chance for her. She gets the puck. Surveys. Backhand try. Dupuy picks up. Dupuy, the defenseman below the net, tried to put in front, but too many bodies in the way. And she shakes off Hinckley and gets the puck right back to Colorado. Here's Paulson. Paulson to Terleska. Loose puck. Brianna Ahrens shot. Another chance. Terleska. Puck still loose. And saves made by Olivas. Ahrens over to Dupuy. That puck hit a stick in front, and the pass was too rambunctious to get calmed down by Zoe Dupuy. Puck battled down by the blue line. It comes out. Fed right back in. Colorado did a good job being on the other side of that blue line. Now Masiello across, making her way in. That big body chugging in, down by the right circle. Now looking for a backhand try. Loose puck in front. It goes wide to the right. Natalie Ewald almost had one. Mia Fischelli up top. Juliana McDonald. She takes a drive. Goes wide. Sent out by Phillips. McDonald's is there. And finally flushed out by the Lobos.
Wow, what an attempt by Colorado. Masiello and company out there trying to get that shot off, but a beautiful setup by Masiello, and Ewald just sent wide of that net into that near corner.
Phillips lost the puck in her own zone. Colorado picks it up, but Masiello couldn't quite calm it down to create an offensive possession out of it. Taylor now across the blue line. But the Lobos are offsides. Shot differential so far, 15-3 in favor of Colorado. We saw that pretty lopsided shot differential yesterday. 44-4 were the shots at the end of 60 minutes. Second line now for Colorado. Piatigorsky wins the draw. Hinckley ahead, goes under the stick of McDonald. She's got to chase after it, pick it up, throw it off behind her own boards. Loose puck in front. Junta had a good chance, but a nice save made by Watson. Piatigorsky takes care of that, and the Buffs evade. Here's Cadden. Cadden ahead, try to get it to Nasty. Now Piatigorsky picks up that puck, feeds it ahead. But Aso is in the way to stop that pass to Cadden. Takes a weird bounce off the boards. And finally, New Mexico's going to get out. Brianna Taylor chasing after it. Mitchell's going to meet her there. Picked up by Nasty to Sowers, fresh on the ice. Puck bouncing around, finally calmed down by Abigail Hinckley for New Mexico. Colorado still working on a forecheck. Out by the red line. Buff's a little congested right now. Now here's Harrison with a little bit of space, trying to work around a couple defenders. Bothered hard there by Tori Hedges. Gets it to Sowers. And then here comes Brianna Taylor. Brianna Taylor across the red line. Man, Kieran, it looks like Brianna Taylor never hits the bench. She's just working so hard and getting so many minutes out there for this New Mexico team.
Gotta give her credit, man. I mean, that is just an incredible attempt. But here's another chance for the Lobos as Colorado's iced the puck again. I mean, Lobos go down a player. That was a rough hit into the boards. And anything for the team at this point, Paxton.
Absolutely. Amelia Sowers up against Junta on the draw. Won by Colorado. Kieran Sullivan feeds it ahead. And here comes Colorado breaking out. Amelia Sowers working up the right side with some steam, trying to get around Akagi. Amelia Sowers puts it in front and couldn't find the stick of Zahn. Junta couldn't get it out. Simon trying to work to keep it in for Colorado. Comes out Oki Terleska. Slides it to Sullivan. Ahead again. That pass is too far for Ahrens. Here's Hollister. Hollister accidentally passed it right to Brianna Ahrens. Brianna Ahrens, she takes a shot. Pad save made. Comes out of the zone. Zoe Dupuis will throw it up to the boards. Will hit Kieran Sullivan. 3.5 minutes to go in the first period of play. Colorado up 2-0. Brianna Ahrens into the zone. Brianna Ahrens about the hash. She takes a shot. Save made by Sarah Olivas. Brianna Ahrens, 3 shots on net already in this game and a goal. Her first of the season. She's feeling it today.
Olivas holding her own down there. Colorado continues that pressure. And now the first line out here. Howard Lobos, I'd be a little nervous right now.
Fischelli, she takes a slapper from the point, or above the circles, I should say. Picked up by Masiello. Masiello leaves it for Fischelli. Mia Fischelli down low. Surveys, looking for someone. Now with it back up top. Leaves it for O'Brien. O'Brien circling down low now. Leaves it for Dupuis. Dupuis to Masiello, goes through her skates. But unable to clear is New Mexico. Natalie Ewald picks it up. Finding some room, she takes a shot and a hard block made with the skates of Adeline Asa. Now here's Brianna Taylor. Brianna Taylor, she's got room. Brianna Taylor takes the shot. Save made by Zoe Watson. The best chance of the weekend for New Mexico.
What a beautiful attempt by Taylor heading down that ice on that breakaway. Zoe Watson getting tested, her first real test of the weekend.
Colorado has only lost once at home this season. It's to Grand Canyon. And now Mia Fischelli in the right circle. She takes a shot. Score! Mia Fischelli! What a shot! Her 17th of the year, and Colorado has got 3 on the board in the first period.
The Fish strikes again from an awkward angle, sneaks it, bounces it off the post over that right shoulder of Sarah Olivas. Wow, what a play.
What an absolutely killer shot from the Fish. It hits the post twice and goes in. And Colorado is feeling it here in the first period. 3 goals already, about 2:16 to go. That second line is going to come out following the Fischelli goal. Fischelli, 3 goals in this series against New Mexico. She had 2 yesterday. One of them came on the power play. And then that time, and man, they have just been incredible shots from Fischelli. Save made by Olivas.
Olivas able to swallow that one up. Came right down the slot from Rowan Nasty.
15 saves on the day so far for Sarah Olivas. Face-off won by Colorado. Mitchell with the puck. Down by the boards. Picked up by Rowan Nasty. Nasty Has him room above the hashes. Chops to pass it to Cadden. Goes back down to Nasty in the corner. Over to Piatigorsky. Piatigorsky scored the first goal for Colorado in the first. Cadden back to Piatigorsky. Lobo lost her stick. Piatigorsky surveys. Ahead. McDonald with room. McDonald takes a shot. And Olivas holds on. Another solid chance there for the Buffaloes. That time, Juliana McDonald looking for her first point of the season. Second line is going to stay out there for Colorado, minute and a half. New Mexico, yet to win a road game this season. Matter of fact, they have yet to win a game this season. Puck battle down in the corner. Cadden picks it up, slides it to Mitchell. Mitchell put a shot on, but couldn't get a lot of mustard on it. Comes out to the neutral zone. McDonald trying to slow that puck up. Feed pass ahead for Cadden. Cadden finds it across the blue line. Cadden down by that dot. Pad save, or excuse me, it goes wide. 52 seconds left to go. Kieran Sullivan entering for Colorado. She takes a shot and into the chest of Sarah Olivas. Really good shot generation right now for Colorado, but they just seem to be putting it right onto the body of Olivas.
Looks like Olivas a little slow to get up, losing her glove.
Olivas rocking some all-black pads. Pretty good look, I think. I think it complements well with these nice fluorescent turquoise jerseys. Sullivan down low, a lot of bodies in the way. Ella Hairston picks it up. Hairston tried to leave it for Sowers, but the pass got deflected. Keeping it in is Abby Zahn. Zahn throws it down. Under 30 seconds left to go in the first period. Colorado looking to get one more before they head into the room. Zahn's got the puck in front. And now here comes New Mexico their way. Nice tape-to-tape pass. It's Brianna Taylor. Taylor bothered by Sullivan, and she loses the puck. Good defense by Kieran Sullivan. Under 10 in the first period. Try to get thrown in front, but a good stick by Zoe Watson. Under 5, last second effort from New Mexico. Glove save made by Zoe Watson, and that is going to do it for 20 minutes of play here at the Rec Center. Colorado pouring it on early. They are up 3-0 over the Lobos.
What a performance by Colorado once again. And I mean, Lobos holding their own despite being down by 3 after just 20 minutes of play. And I mean, Olivas saw some pretty tricky shots, especially from that awkward angle from Mia Fischelli off the post and into that back of that net.
Absolutely a good all-around period from the Buffaloes. They get one on the power play. The defense was quite stellar. They're not giving New Mexico much of anything. Although there was that one chance from Brianna Taylor that we saw. It's honestly, we talk about the new program. It's nice to see Brianna Taylor, get those chances for New Mexico and, see if they can start to build that resume for this team.
That was a very exciting moment for the Lobos. Taylor coming down, bench got really excited, gave Zoe Watson, really checked her and making sure that she had to keep her guard up.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for 20 minutes of play. We will get back to you for the second period of action here on Scope Up Sports. Welcome back to the Rec Center. The Colorado Buffaloes are up 3-0 on the New Mexico Lobos. Here for the second period of action on Scope Up Sports. I'm Pax Haynes with Kieran Werger. And Kieran, like we said before we went to the break, just an all-around incredible period, I thought, from Colorado. You had a power play goal. You had Brianna Arns getting her first of the season. Just not more you can ask for.
Absolutely. Fischelli also from that awkward angle. But I think the big story was Brianna Arns, able to get her first of the season, president of this team. That's something you've been hoping for all season, and it all culminated here today.
Absolutely, so exciting. Just Brianna Arns loved so much by this Buffalo squad. You can see how excited they were for their president. As we take a look over on the New Mexico bench, we can see Kira Longenwalter. She went down with an injury in the first few minutes of the first period. Looked like a right leg injury. She was coming off the ice, not putting any weight on that right skate, but she is now back on the bench. She has a couple crutches and a splint down on that lower right leg. And as a captain, I mean, Kieran really just that's quite the showcase of leadership to come back out there with a injury that she's still not putting weight on, back out there to support her team.
Absolutely. That doesn't get any better than that. Especially this squad here, this Lobos squad that we've talked about all season. Speaking of, they've got a chance before looks like it was broken up, Paxton.
Here's Anna Masiello. Masiello gets around ACHA. Masiello, point blank, she shoots. It goes wide of the net. Try to get flipped in front by Fischelli. New Mexico taken out only for the moment. Ewald puts one on and heads into the glove of Sarah Olivas.
Yeah, that high. Talking about Masiello coming down the far side, right up into the cage of Olivas.
That starting five out there for Colorado. They contributed to 2 goals in the first period. Dupuis, chase blast from the point, it goes wide. Zoe Dupuis just with such a hard shot. We have seen it here all season, and especially in the most recent game. She is just letting it rip from the point. Sophie O'Brien ahead to Masiello. Masiello across the blue line, trying to keep it in. She just lets it backhand towards the net. Ace is there to grab it. And then Rowan Nasty hard on the forecheck, strips that puck. Gets it back to Masiello, who's down low. Over to Nasty. Nasty up top. Piatagorski over to O'Brien. Buffs got a line change again while they were in the offensive zone. Impressive stuff. Nasty leaves it for Piatagorski. Piatagorski looking, puts it in front of the net. Puck was just hanging there on the side of the cage. Piatagorski grabs it. Bank pass to O'Brien. O'Brien, she shoots. Pad save made as sirens sound overhead. Oh, that's behind us. I thought it was the speakers in the stadium. Here's Alexa Cadden.
Man, if anything, these walls behind us, by the way, folks, are plexiglass. Sound travels through it very, very easily. Now, when I'm walking up here every morning to class, I can hear them practicing in the rink.
Nasty take a shot. It gets deflected and goes wide. Sowers grabs it, gets it up top. Juliana McDonald back down to Nasty. Nasty just flips it backhand. She gets a change. New Mexico scoops it up, looking to get it out. Izzy Mitchell there on the forecheck. Puck bounces off the back of the net behind Sarah Olivas. Olivas with 21 saves in the first period. Down low, Zahn swiped at it. Fighting for the puck, goal sticks, got tied up there with Taylor. And finally the Lobos are able to clear. Taylor across the blue line. Now Sowers coming in, gets it around Hinckley. Now Sowers, the Buffs have a 2-on-1. Sowers over to Zahn, shot, score, no! It does not go in. I thought it went in for a moment, but Zahn just put it wide.
My goodness, what an attempt. Abby Zahn on a wide open net. That's a miracle that didn't get past the goal line.
Looked like it just skipped on her blade just a little bit. Here's Sowers now. Sowers sends it off the side of the net. Fighting forward to Simon. Unable to win that puck battle. Comes out of the zone. Couple Lobos congested there by that Ralphie logo at center ice. They feed it ahead. Terleska grabs it, try to get it to Sowers. It's going to find Paulson instead. Paulson trying to get around to Kagi, but the puck skipped over the blue line out of the zone. Offsides, Colorado.
Like Oki was just offside there for Colorado. They'll bring it back out to neutral territory.
Oki Terleska back in the lineup as she has been in about the latter 2/3 of the season thus far for the Buffaloes. She has a goal on the season. New Mexico looking to get it out. Orange is there to bother them, but it's going to come out into the neutral zone. Terleska slides it ahead. It was in the stick of Hollister for a moment, but now Ahrens coming back the other way across the blue line. Ahrens trying to shoot a couple defenders. She's going to stay with that puck. Get it down low. Looking, cutting towards the middle of the ice. Up to Sullivan at the point. Sullivan takes a shot. Got deflected, popped up into the air. Here it comes the first line for Colorado. Anna Masiello between the circles. Masiello working down low. Trying to put a shot on, but a stick lift from Akagi caused her to fan on it. Masiello fighting for that puck down in the corner. Both her and Akagi get sent down to the ice. Ewald there to help, but that puck got flipped up and touched the netting. We'll get a whistle. Looks like the big dogs are going to come out for Colorado. That starting five, the defensive pairing in Sullivan and Grant swapped out for O'Brien and Dupuis. Natalie Ewald says hi to a couple fans in the stands here before taking that face-off, which she wins. Michelli to O'Brien. O'Brien down to Masiello. Masiello in her spot. The puck rolled on her and it got away. Now Ewald. Ewald to Fischelli. Good stick in the way there by Tori Hedges. Now here come the Lobos the other way. Hedges. That puck was rolling a little bit on her. It was a little too far for her to make a play out of it. Now Zoe Dupuis trying to get it ahead to Anna Masiello. I don't think it touched her. It did not. And the Buffaloes force an icing. Face-off going to come
and
out.
they'll come back, a chance for the Lobos to flip the script and give Zoe Watson another test here today.
The Lobos with 5 shots on net with 15 minutes to go in the second period. They already have more shots than they did in all 60 minutes yesterday. First line's going to stay out for Colorado. New Mexico wins the draw, but immediately taken away by Mia Fischelli. She's trying to race after it, but couldn't get the body down to stop that puck. Now Taylor. Taylor feeds that. She takes a shot. It goes wide. Taylor has had some really good opportunities to put some real good shots on, getting good chances for New Mexico, trying to see if they can get one past Zoe Watson this weekend. Masiello to Ewald. Now Fischelli racing after it in a race with Hinckley. Hinckley gets it, but she passed it to Ewald. Ewald got tripped up. Penalty coming up on New Mexico. Asa touches up, and Colorado will be a man up.
Second power play of the day for the Buffs coming up. Yeah, the Lobos have only had one chance on the power play so far, and it was an easy kill for Colorado. I think the Buffs are going to be looking for their second power play goal of the day.
It's Tori Hedges, guilty for the trip. She'll take 2 minutes to think about what she's done. It's going to be the second unit coming out for Colorado on the power play. They're 1 for 1. First time, a pass from Ewald, and a really nice setup and a nice deflection from Piatagorski. Got the goal. O'Brien takes a shot. It goes over the net. Trying to keep it in. Colorado fighting for the puck. Cadden gets it. Bank pass to Nasty. Nasty plays catch with Cadden. Flips it over. Zoe Dupuis at the top. She takes a shot, and it goes wide. Almost deflected in front by Brianna Ahrens. Ahrens. Dupuis calling for it. Is she going to take another? Here it comes. And Olivas holds on. Zoe Dupuis letting it rip. And now she will head off and let that first unit come out. Taking a look at these two teams on special teams. Colorado 16% on the power play. That looks a little bit low, but like we've been saying, Kieran, I mean, this power play has looked so good in the last few games. Piatagorski wins the draw. Over to Fischelli. Gets it to Sullivan. Back to Fischelli in her spot on the power play to Masiello. Masiello to Piatagorski. It goes over the net. Almost another nice deflection. Goal for Abigail Piatagorski. Loose puck in front, and they score. Sarah Olivas wasn't down in the butterfly, and it got poked through the 5-hole. Looks like it's going to be Anna Masiello getting the goal for Colorado. Her 7th of the season, and Colorado 2 for 2 on the power play. It's 4-0.
Anna Masiello with another incredible goal. Looks like Abigail Piatigorsky right in front of that net, trying to get another deflection as she did to start off scoring for this game. Nonetheless, it's Anna Masiello coming away. What a play for Colorado. The lead is brought up to 4.
That power play is 4 for their last 5, if I'm not mistaken. They have been absolutely incredible. Out in the neutral zone. It's McDonald. McDonald is going to bring it across the blue line herself. She's going to take a shot. It goes off the crossbar. McDonald almost got her first. Looks like it's going to be icing on New Mexico. Masiello is going to get credit for that goal. 13:26 left to go on this one. As the tunes today at the rec center, throwing it back, some old mid-2010s pop. Ella Hairston getting about the hash. She takes a shot. It goes over the net. Second chance. The net came off of its mooring, but got sent right back on. We're going to play on. McDonald swiped at that puck. It's going to head for ACHA in her own zone. Circling down low. Buffs on the forecheck. They're able to keep it in for the moment, but comes back out. Sophia Paulson right back in. Here's Paulson. Try to get it to Sowers, but the pass was behind her. Sowers to Mitchell. Buffs looking to calm that puck down, set up an offensive possession. They do so. Sowers in front of the net. Loose puck in front. Turning around is Terleska. Trying to take another shot at it, but too many sticks in front. This New Mexico team so good at blocking shots on defense. McDonald. Pass too far from Mitchell. And then out in the neutral zone. Another pass a little too hot that time for Sowers. Kept in by New Mexico. Colorado just trying to get it out, seeing what they can set up, but it looks like the Lobos are going to be offsides.
Got to give credit to the Lobos defense, like you said, Paxton. I mean, just crowding in front of the crease of Sarah Olivas.
Arns, Paulson, and Terleska out there for Colorado. They win the face-off, and here comes Sullivan ahead of her. Paulson and Arns looking to enter that zone. First one there is Phillips for New Mexico. Tried to get it out, but Paulson picked it up. Paulson to Terleska, but blocked in front. Arns with the puck. Got a little bit away from her. She keeps it in. Cadden now fresh on the ice for Colorado. Arns sticking with that puck, rolling down low. Found some space in the left circle. Up ahead for Sullivan. Sullivan looking for a deflection in front, but the stick of Akagi was in the way. Paulson ahead to Sullivan. Sullivan blocked again. Out to the neutral zone comes that puck. Cadden's going to pick it up. Ahead to Cassie Grant. Went through her skates for a second. Now Piatigorsky looking to start things up for Colorado. Nice feed pass ahead to Rowan Nassie. Nassie into the zone. Shot was blocked by Phillips. Leaves it, or at least tried to, for Piatigorsky. Puck battle down along the boards. Colorado comes away with it. It's Piatigorsky. Number 20 working down low. Ahead to Cadden. Back up top at Sullivan at the point. Sullivan takes a shot. Blocked in front again by New Mexico. For a team that has so much ice time with such a limited roster, and they're spending so much time working so hard, they are not afraid to put their body on the line. Nice pass ahead to Cadden. Cadden coming with Nasty, a 2-on-2 for Colorado. Flipped it ahead, but it was a little too far. It was Cassie Grant on the 2-on-2 it was. First line getting out there for Colorado. Here's Natalie Ewald. That shot goes wide to the right. Sophie O'Brien trying to slide it down. but it's going to get scooped up by Taylor, only for the moment. O'Brien keeps it in. O'Brien gets around Hollister. She's working his side, so O'Brien almost had a chance there. Now Phillips. Phillips for New Mexico, crossing the blue line, lost the puck. Dupuis takes care of that, gets it to her defensive pair. Now Natalie Ewald throws it ahead, chasing after it. First one is Hinckley. Gets past Ewald, but it comes to Masiello. New Mexico's going to get it out of the zone. We are halfway done with this one. Fischelli might have been a power play, or she might have gone away with something. Fischelli takes a shot, goes off the pad of Olivas. 4-0 Colorado over the New Mexico Lobos. Puck stays in, it's Sowers. Sowers couldn't get inside. Kept in by Anna Masiello. Asa trying to get that puck out, fed ahead to Hollister, but Zahn in the forecheck. Abby Zahn been really good on the forecheck tonight, or today I should say. Back up top, McDonald. McDonald takes a shot. Pad save made. Kind of caught Olivas a little bit off guard. Emily Simon was there looking for a deflection. Mitchell keeps the puck in for Colorado. Maintains possession, but then got the puck stripped from her. Finally comes out, and should McDonald win that race, it's going to be icing on New Mexico. It is. One of the unfortunate side effects of New Mexico having such a short roster is that very rarely are they going to win a puck race like that. Mia Hollister that time racing against Juliana McDonald, and Hollister is pretty much out there the entire game. So hard to ask her to win those races against players like McDonald, who are getting plenty of time to take a breather on the bench. Face off is loose. Paulson turnaround shot. Paulson still with it. Gets it up top to Kieran Sullivan. Kieran Sullivan had a goal and assist yesterday versus New Mexico. If Paulson takes a shot, save made. Her bench loves it. Sophia Paulson looking for her first of the season. Paulson still with that puck. Down to Ahrens. Ahrens looking around. Gets it to Cassie Grant, who keeps it in. Back down to Ahrens. Ahrens, Oki-Terleska swoops in and picks up the puck. She takes a shot and a pad save and covered up by Sarah Olivas. And looking at the bench, Kieran, they were so excited to see Sophia Paulson get that grade A chance and put a nice shot on. They are very excited for their teammate, hoping that she gets her first of the year.
Yep, the starter, Brianna Ahrens, got her first of the season. They were hoping for 2 first goals here today.
Bit of Major Lazer playing overhead. We're getting all those classics today.
I'm loving this playlist.
Sophie O'Brien ahead, pad save. Sophie O'Brien working hard on that forecheck, trying to keep it in. Piatagorski ahead, nice pass to Cadden. Buffs them to the zone. Alexa Cadden gets above the hashes. She takes a shot, but it got blocked and goes wide. Cadden to Nasty. Nasty into the skates of Kylie Phillips. Coming out to Brianna Taylor. Taylor trying to get around Zoe Dupuis, but a good stick by Zoe Dupuis. Gets that puck away from Taylor. Now here comes Colorado the other way. Alexa Cadden got some room to work with. Here comes Alexa Cadden in front. Rebound. Zoe Dupuis almost had a stick on it. Puck still loose in front of the net. Olivas had lost her stick, but New Mexico escapes that chance for Colorado. Ewald tripped right at the red line. And Natalie Ewald draws a penalty. It's going to be another power play opportunity for Colorado. Natalie Ewald, so good at drawing penalties, she is. I think it should be a penalty at least.
The officials,
No, I think the bumps were offsides.
yeah, officials convening for a moment. So they'll bring it back out to neutral territory. Ewald in for the draw.
I saw Ewald get tripped right at the red line,
Yeah.
and then they were offside at the same time. I assume she must have drawn a penalty. But we're still 5-on-5, 6:40 to go in the second period. Buffalo's up 4-0. First line is out. Here's Masiello. Masiello staying with that puck, but then got a little far from her. Masiello still with it, looking to pound it in front of the net. Puck is still loose. Masiello looking for her second of the day. Leaves it for Natalie Ewald. Ewald to Masiello, but Asa with a stick in front. Stop that. Now to McDonald. McDonald takes a shot. Blocked in front. Natalie Ewald fighting for that puck down along the boards. A lot of Buffaloes are, in fact. Masiello's going to come away with it. Masiello getting to that left circle, corralling the puck. Mitchell over to McDonald. McDonald takes a shot. It goes wide. Masiello slowing that puck up. That is her game, all about possession. Anna Masiello surveys. Looks, gets it through to Fischelli, but there to make the pad save is Olivas, getting across in time. He's fighting for that puck down in the corner. Ewald. Masiello picks it up. Loose puck. Olivas wasn't down in the butterfly. Almost could have been a chance for Colorado, like it was how they scored their fourth goal. Now Brianna Taylor. Taylor with another shot, but good defense by Izzy Mitchell gets rid of that puck. Now Masiello coming up the other way. 2-on-1 for the Buffalo. She's got Fischelli to her right. Masiello takes a shot. Block made by Kylie Phillips. Picked up by Fischelli. Fischelli circling around. Gets it down to Sowers. Sowers down by that right circle. Changes course. Zahn with the puck. Abigail Zahn finds room for herself. Throws it all the way down. It's going to circle around the boards. Cassie Grant slaps at it. And Sophia Luna had lost a glove and a stick. Now Brianna Taylor. Taylor takes a shot, blocked in front. And Zoe Watson is going to cover up. Or no, excuse me. We have a goalie change here for the Colorado Buffaloes. That was not Zoe Watson making that save. That is Morgan McLean between the pipes now for Colorado, wearing number 31. Her first game of the season for Colorado. Normally the third string behind Watson and Wine, but Shira Wine not in the lineup tonight. It's Morgan McLean getting her first opportunity against New Mexico. Four and a half to go in the second period. Buffaloes iced the puck. The whistle was blown before the puck had crossed the goal line.
Right, you got a whistle right before they crossed, Paxton. That's something we haven't seen. And let me tell you, I mean, on that last series, I mean, Colorado still not being on the man advantage. They looked as though they were, for sure, after that trip on Ewald.
Phillips throws it ahead. This Colorado bench, a big fan of Morgan McLean. They're getting the nod between the pipes. Akagi racing in, blocked in front by Sullivan. Here's Amelia Sowers. Sowers has wheels, getting across that blue line. Cutting in front, taking a backhand shot, and a nice save made by Sarah Olivas. Picked up by Paulson. She takes a drive, and it goes wide. Out into the neutral zone. Cassie Grant wasn't able to keep it in. And two chances there for Colorado. Sowers, a nice play, and an even better save by Olivas. Sullivan over to Terleska. Pass to Sowers. Sowers racing after it. A couple of bodies collide here on the near side. Colorado looking to break out. Here comes Paulson. She didn't know where the puck was. Down along the boards. Lobo is able to escape. They get out to the neutral zone. Brianna Taylor lost the puck down by the red line. And Colorado will slow things down to restart. Here comes O'Brien. O'Brien feeding it ahead, but the Buffaloes were a little congested. Ahrens, though, is able to pick it up and get down below the goal line. Brianna Ahrens looking, getting above the hashes, still with that puck, trying to find some room for herself. But a backhand leave for Zoe Dupuis was a little too slow. Brianna Taylor. Lobos are onside. But Colorado quickly takes care of that. Here's Alexa Cadden coming back the other way. Leaves it for O'Brien. O'Brien got it through the skates of ACHA, but then lost the puck herself. And the Lobos get it out. Both these teams just kind of trading, entering the zone, and then immediately getting it back out. That happens again. As now here comes Abigail Piatagorski with a goal on the day. Working around Taylor. Gets that puck, buffs her onside. Leaves it. Cadden takes a shot. Puck loose, coming out by the blue line, and Sophia Luna just pokes it out. Fed ahead. Puck rolling on its side. As Kieran looks like a little bit of a lone action here, as both these teams just kind of trading what we're seeing right here, which is they enter the zone for about 5 seconds, and then it comes right back out.
Yeah, Colorado really with no urgency to put another point on the board so far. Lobos trying their absolute best despite being down a player.
Let's see if the first line can change that. Here's Mia Fischelli. Fischelli, Masiello got a little tripped up, no call. Fischelli still with that puck, leaves it. Kept in by Juliana McDonald, but Brianna Taylor picks it up and gets it out. Colorado is in second right now in the WWCHL behind the Utah Utes. We saw Utah, they were able to take down Montana State yesterday and maintain sole possession first place. Here comes Mia Fischelli. Fischelli in front, she takes a shot, and it's the save made by Olivasen into the screen. Montana State, with that win over Utah, they slid into third place in the WWCHL. So right now it goes Utah, Colorado, Montana State, and only a few points separate those three teams. It's Utah at the top of 24, Colorado 22, and Montana State with 20. After this series with New Mexico, Colorado is going to face off in a pair of games against UMass here at the Rec Center. The Minutemen in the same division as New Mexico, that ACHA independent division. And there at the top of it, it'll be a good opponent as three bodies collide at the blue line. It's Zahn, Akagi, and Taylor, or excuse me, not Taylor, Tori Hedges. As we head into the waning seconds of this second period, just kind of sloppy, lackluster play a little bit from both teams.
Yeah, Colorado knows what's at stake here in their conference, so they're going to defend their title and go back in and hopefully get back into number one here this weekend.
Final chance into the glove of Sarah Olivas as the buzzer sounds for period number 2 between Colorado and New Mexico. Looks like both these teams could use a trip to the room for 15 minutes. After 40 minutes of play, it is 4-0 Colorado. The Buffs added on one more via Anna Masiello. She got her 7th of the year. We got a goalie change. Morgan McLean looks like she's going to take it the rest of the way for Colorado. And overall, another solid period for Colorado. Got a little bit slow there in the final minutes, but not much more you can ask for really as a team. I mean, taking it to New Mexico, just taking care of business right now.
Absolutely, Paxton. I mean, Colorado, they've put up a solid 4-goal lead. That is a very, very comfortable advantage here at the Rec Center. New Mexico, they're going to try to get back in it despite being down one teammate, and they've been holding their own, Paxton. I mean, they've been, that last series, lots of back and forth towards the waning half of that period, rather. So I would expect New Mexico keep that same energy coming out here. Colorado needs to stay on top. They want to stay in the top 2 spots in their conference.
Absolutely. And compared to yesterday, New Mexico has had so many better chances this time. We saw Brianna Taylor, who's been the best player so far for New Mexico, out there on the ice today. She's getting some really good looks at the net, putting some good shots on, and we'll see if New Mexico can get that 4th goal in program history. That'll do it for 40 minutes of play. We'll take a second to resurface the ice, take a break. We will see you back for the 3rd period of action here on Go Buff Sports.
this year's, I think, approach is going out and finding the talent in lesser highlighted places. It means these coaches are watching film. If they play ball, if they bring physicality, if they bring confidence, this team could have a new look this season.
And I think that's where Brendan Marion comes in as an extremely important addition. He's been on the recruiting trail, but I think he could be the establishment of an identity for this team. And that's what makes it so hard with the portal era and bringing in an almost entirely new team every year. You can't really establish a culture or a set identity. And you saw Colorado struggle with that last year without Shedeur Sanders, without Travis Hunter. Without any stars, they didn't really have anything they did that could just be a go-to and beat teams that way. This year, I think there's a lot more stability, there's a lot more production and proven style that can translate to wins in the Big 12. So, anything more to add?
No, I'm excited. I mean, the spring game's the first time we're going to see these guys on the field, but, I mean, the portal's still open. So, if you're out there, CU could use a corner right about now.
Yeah,
so.
they've lost some big names too,
Tawfik
Jordan
Byard.
Seaton, Tawfik Byard, Marion Miller, but they've got some great players. Going into next year, alongside Shane Holcomb, I'm Harrison Simeon. Thank you for listening to Buff Banner. Back to you guys at the desk.
Colorado's own Chris Hudson has been named to the College Football Hall of Fame. The quarterback played from 1991 to 94 and had a decorated senior season, ending with All-American honors and the Jim Thorpe Award. Hudson becomes the 12th Buff to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, joining a group with Coach Bill McCartney, Rashad Salam, and more. Along with being an All-American defender, Hudson returned punts all 4 years. He snagged 15 total interceptions during his time, taking 2 back to the house, and leads Colorado all-time in interception return yards.
The men's Hoopers have played 9 games since our last show. On December 6th, the Buffs lost their first game of the season to the Colorado State Rams, dropping to 8-1. Colorado finished conference play on a 2-game losing streak, falling to the Stanford Cardinals and the Northern Colorado Bears. The Buffaloes regrouped to start Big 12 play, winning games over Arizona State and Temp and Utah at home to push the record to 12-3. Most recently, the Black and Gold are on another 2-game losing streak. The last time Colorado played at home, the Buffs lost to the number 14 ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders by just 2 points. The Buffaloes have 14 conference games left to play, leaving them plenty of opportunities to rise in the standings.
The women's basketball team created a strong record of 12-6 over winter break with outstanding performances from Ziana Walker and Logan Greer. The Buffs pulled off an impressive upset of 19th ranked Iowa State in a close battle last Wednesday, winning 68-62. It was the Buffs' first win over a ranked opponent since last season.
And now it's time for this week's trivia question. The NFL divisional round kicks off this weekend, and a couple of Buffaloes are still in the fight to win the Super Bowl. Isaiah Oliver may have been the last Buffalo to play in the big game, but who was the last alum to win it all? Bonus points if you can name the year and team. Stick around as we'll have the answer for you later in the show.
Colorado women's basketball remains winless on the road. The Buffs went to Stillwater to take on the Oklahoma State Cowgirls last Sunday. Freshman Logan Greer and senior Jade Masagayo had 12 points each. Senior Anna El Dutoit posted her 4th double-double with 10 points and 11 rebounds. Despite these efforts, Colorado fell 63-56 to the Cowgirls after being tied going into the final quarter.
After the winless road trip, women's hoops returned home to face the number 19 ranked Iowa State Cyclones. The Buffaloes had the tall task of defending the nation's leading scorer in Audi Crooks. However, they made Audi play like a Mazda, holding her to a season-low 17 points with only 7 through the first 3 quarters. North Texas transfer Desiree Wooten and her best game in the black and gold, scoring 24, including 2 buzzer beaters. The Buffaloes were down as much as 12 at one point, but their game plan was executed to perfection for the upset dub.
Off their upset, CU travels down to Orlando to keep conference play flowing against the Central Florida Knights. The Knights are 9-8 overall, 1-5 in conference play this season. The Buffs are undefeated against UCF all time at 2-0. They won by a final score of 81-62 in their last matchup in January of last year. Both teams struggle on offense. CU averages around 69 points a game while UCF averages 67, so expect a low-scoring affair. The game is on Sunday at noon and will be streamed live on ESPN+.
The men's basketball team took on the number 14 Texas Tech Red Raiders on Saturday. The Buffs found themselves in a 24-point deficit shortly after halftime, but clawed their way back. Freshman guard Isaiah Johnson recorded 21 points in the second half and gave Colorado a chance to win the game on the final possession. However, guard Barrington Hargress's buzzer-beating shot was well defended and bounced off the right side of the rim. Colorado fell by a score of 73-71, and the Red Raiders escaped a major upset.
The men's basketball team lost to the Cincinnati Bearcats 77-68 on Wednesday night. The loss drops the Buffs to 2-2 in the Big 12, while handing the Bearcats their first conference win of the season. The Buffs struggled in the first half, allowing the Bearcats to shoot 57% from the floor in the first 20 minutes. Despite being down 18 points at halftime, Colorado continued to fight in the second half, cutting the deficit to as little as 4 points. Forward Baba Miller dominated the paint, scoring 25 points and grabbing 11 rebounds. Freshman Isaiah Johnson led the Buffaloes in points, with 18 on 70% from the floor.
The 12-5 Colorado Buffaloes are on the road facing the 11-6 West Virginia Mountaineers Saturday, January 17th at the WVU Coliseum. The Buffs are looking to bounce back after a tough road loss at Cincinnati, where the slow start pulled them from making a comeback in the second half. While West Virginia has lacked consistency this season, they are led by guard Honor Huff, averaging 17.5 points and a pressure defense that can pose another challenge. For Colorado, they will need to survive the tough road environment and rely on the exceptional offense in Isaiah Johnson and improve on the defensive field.
The 12-5 Colorado Buffaloes are set to host the 12-5 Kansas Jayhawks Tuesday, January 20th for pivotal conference matchup at the CU Event Center. This is anticipated to be one of the biggest games of the year for the Buffaloes as both teams sit even in the Big 12 standings. Kansas, coming off a high win, ending Iowa State's 16-game winning streak, are powered by efficient shooting paired with strong defensive stops. For the Buffs, they bring a high offensive output, averaging mid-80s points per game. With both teams looking to get ahead, Tuesday's 9 p.m. matchup is shaping up to be an exciting one.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your Buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those 2 colors. Choose the next one.
Let's do fan etiquette for 600.
Fan etiquette. The proper response when you hear someone yell, "Go Buffs."
What is Skull Buffs?
Skull Buffs is right. Looks like we've got some true Buffs fans here. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our contestants, and see you next time.
After a long winter break, the men's D1 hockey team returns to the rec for a series against the University of Mary Marauders. The Buffs are coming off of 2 exhibition games against the Vale Yeti in which they lost both. Coming back into regular season play, the Buffs sit at 7-12-1 on the season for 9th, and the WCHL Colorado will be looking for revenge against the Marauders, who swept them in their previous series back in September. The games are at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Friday and 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Saturday as the Buffs look to stop Mary's 5-game win streak. The games will be streamed live right here on SCO Buff Sports.
The Red Hot men's D2 hockey team has a busy week with 4 straight game days against 4 separate opponents. The Buffs are 4-1 in their last 5 games and will look to keep their momentum going from their 3-1 win against Metro State Roadrunners last weekend. Up first are the Dakota College Patino Lumberjacks at 5 on Friday. Then the East Texas Baptist Tigers at 3 on Saturday. The Providence Friars come to town on Sunday at 3. Lastly, Colorado hosts the Cal Golden Bears at 11 a.m. on Monday. All games will be held at the CU Rec Center and live streamed here on the ScoBuff Sports YouTube channel.
The women's hockey team emphatically took down the Denver Pioneers on Monday by a score of 7-2. The first line contributed to 3 goals at even strength, and the Buffs netted 2 on the power play. With that win, the Buffs moved up to second in the WCHL, only 2 points behind Utah. The Buffs will be back on the ice this weekend for a pair of games against New Mexico. Stream live on ScoBuff Sports.
The CU ski team has kicked off its season with a strong Nordic and Alpine performances. The Buffs recently secured top finish in the RMISA qualifiers with Nordic racers on the podium and solid results across the board. Alpine alum Ryder Sarchet also earned a spot for the U.S. Olympic team for the 2026 Winter Games. With both Nordic and Alpine action ahead, Colorado looks to build on another competitive season.
The track and field team are hosting the Potts Invitational today and tomorrow. This is their 3rd event of the year, but the first at home. CU looks to keep things rolling as they host a total of 8 schools from around Colorado and Wyoming. Today's event started with women's long jump, and things will get moving tomorrow morning with the men's 60-meter hurdles.
The greatest goalkeeper in Colorado soccer history is staying home. Denver Summit FC of the NWSL has signed Jordan Nidis for its inaugural season. Nidis was a 2-time All-American and 2-time Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Year over 3 seasons in Boulder. Last fall, she set CU's single-season wins record and was one of 15 semifinalists for the Mac Hermann Trophy, college soccer's highest individual honor. The Aurora native joins former Buff star Taylor Flint on the Denver's first professional women's soccer team, set to begin play in March. The volleyball team closed their season back in December after a second-round loss to the Indiana in the NCAA tournament, but the accolades didn't stop coming for pin hitter Anna Barilovich. The junior was selected as an AVCA All-American third team and was also named to the AVCA All-West Region first team. This is the first time in her career to gain all the West Region and All-American honors.
3 former Buffs will take the field this weekend in the NFL Divisional Playoffs. Fullback Brady Russell will suit up first for the Seahawks on Saturday night against the 49ers. Then on Sunday, linebacker Nate Landman and defensive back Akella Witherspoon play for the Rams in LA's chance to get back to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2022.
Colorado Buffaloes women's basketball had a 10-player roster turnover for the 2nd straight season. However, this year, they added a French phenom.
She's been incredible. Honestly, she's one of the more reliable people I've ever been blessed to coach, and that's in every single area of her life. You know, she shows up every day with the same mindset, the same attitude.
Rhode Island transfer Anaël Dutat hails from Cesson, France, and has become JR's most reliable player. She averages a near double-double on 50% shooting, along with 4 offensive rebounds per game. But for Dutat, her contributions to the team is just being aggressive and grabbing some rebounds.
I try to be aggressive, especially on defense. Maybe I should be a little more aggressive on offense. You know, try to play defense, get some rebound, get like extra possession and stuff.
While Utah pulls down buku rebounds, she's not only in Boulder because of the hoops. She studies biomedical engineering and also happens to play basketball.
However, as a senior, her leadership role and aggressiveness is still developing.
I say I don't necessarily talk a lot, but then when I talk, like, they really listen to me because they care about what I'm going to say.
It's emerging, yeah. So, you know, just different philosophies. Like, she played for Rhode Island for 3 years where she had tremendous success. The team had a lot of success, but just sort of philosophically, I think they were a little bit more play it safe, you know, than we are. We're a little bit more, when in doubt, be aggressive, take a risk, go for it, we'll recover.
With her athleticism, the transition from Rhode Island to the Big 12 is much easier, but she still realizes some differences.
I say compared to maybe the A10, it's like when you make a mistake, like they make you play right away. When, like, I guess maybe lower conferences, obviously it depends where you're playing and stuff, but you have more room to have like bad games sometimes.
However, in a team with new faces, Dutat has steadied the boat.
I think all of us, based like on where we come from, other teams, freshmen and stuff, we all bring like our own perspective. And I say that's also what I'm adding, like just my own perspective of like spending 3 years in the US and around school, but also like playing in France and stuff. So I guess I'll say like just a new perspective.
back in Boulder. Puck is down and we are underway. 4-0 Colorado. Here at the rec center. First line out for the Buffaloes. Right into that New Mexico zone. Natalie Ewald throws it down. Mia Fischelli picks it up. Looking to get towards the center of the ice. She takes a shot. Blocker save. Rebound. Score! Anna Masiello gets the rebound and puts it through. Her second of the day. 5-0 Colorado right off the bat.
Talk about a jump start here, Paxton. Coming right out of the gates hot off that intermission, and Anna Masiello with her second of the game sneaks it right past. And we have a change in net, it looks like, for the Lobos. Peyton Swanson heading in.
It is Peyton Swanson. She has a .750 goals against average and an .874 save percentage. And unfortunately for her, the first shot she faces ends up in the back of the net. As here comes Colorado right back in. It's Rowan Nasty. Leaves it for Piatigorsky. Puts one on. Save, rebound, score! Rowan Nasty gets the rebound and puts it behind. Colorado with 2 quick strikes under a minute into the third period. 6-0.
Rowan Nasty right off that rebound. Colorado finally capitalizing on those rebound opportunities. They hadn't really been able to do so in the first couple periods of this game, Paxton.
And just like that, we are not even a minute into the third period, and Colorado has added on 2 more. It was Anna Masiello who had her 8th of the season, and then Rowan Nasty her 3rd of the season.
Colorado's largest lead of the weekend so far.
And it looks like finally Colorado breaking through. New Mexico has been working so hard all weekend, having to face this really good Colorado team with such a short roster. Mitchell down below the net, fighting there with Taylor. Finally gets out as Brielle Okagi trips over the red line with no behind her. Here's a chance for New Mexico. Save made by Morgan McLean. The Colorado bench loves it.
That was the loudest I'd seen the bench all weekend, Paxton. Holy cow. There have been times where they've gotten pretty loud, but that was no exception.
Both teams now with their 3rd string goaltenders in the game. As here comes Zahn. Zahn gets around Phillips. Abby Zahn. And then Phillips there recovering and getting a skate in the way to stop Zahn from taking a shot.
Great play there by Phillips, able to get up right into the cage in that kitchen of Abby Zahn.
Harrison. The ice against New Mexico. Hollister was late getting to the bench, and then the puck touched her as she was climbing over. And yeah, she's going to head to the box. There's too many men on the ice for New Mexico. Mia Hollister, bit of an unfortunate situation for her. But instead of hanging out on the bench, she's going to have to go to the penalty box.
Second time this weekend that Lobos have had too many men on the ice. But
first unit is out for Colorado. They win the faceoff. It's Mia Fischelli. Fischelli staying with that puck. Sends it down to Natalie Ewald. Ewald puts it in front. Rebound. And the first save made by Peyton Swanson in her time in net. Masiello keeps the puck in for Colorado. Down to Piatigorsky. Masiello on the ice. She has 2 goals today. Sullivan slides to Fischelli. Fischelli in the throw. She takes a shot. Blocked in front. Sullivan keeps it in. Kieran Sullivan waits to take a shot. Circles around. She'll opt to pass it to Fischelli. Fischelli, backhand pass to Masiello. Masiello in front. Piatigorsky couldn't get her stick on it. And it comes out of the zone. Getting close to a minute in the 3rd power play opportunity of the day for Colorado. They're 2 for 2. Piatigorsky in front, goes through the crease. We'll also get a little bit of a change here on the power play. Zoe Dupuis and Sophia Paulson now on the ice. Here comes New Mexico shorthanded, and a nice glove save made by Morgan McLean there on the 2-on-1.
What a save by McLean, and that Colorado bench loving it as she's getting her first start of the season, Paxton.
Dupuis and Paulson fresh out on the ice. Looked a little bit unassuming, but then all of a sudden New Mexico had a 2-on-1 and one of their best chances to put one in the net this weekend. The Lobos still looking for their first goal against Colorado between the two games. As here comes Hairston. Colorado not going with those power play units anymore. They're just rolling the lines as if they're at even strength. Makes sense being up 6-0. Zoe Dupuis with the drive goes wide. The rebound went between the skates of Abizan. It's Paulson now. Paulson back up top to her captain. Slides over to O'Brien, who's got room in that circle. She takes a shot. It goes off the post. Rebound. Still loose. And sprawling out the pads was Swanson. She kept it out.
What an incredible opportunity for Colorado. It bounced off the post. Thought it crossed the goal line for a second from our vantage point up here. But New Mexico able to prevent the Buffs from doing more damage.
Now O'Brien. O'Brien shakes the defender. She shoots, puts it over the net. Penalty is over for New Mexico. Colorado is 2 for 3 on the day. By that time on the third one. Not really a full power play, I guess you could say, considering how Colorado was playing it. That puck comes over the blue line. Colorado has to tag up. O'Brien looking to get it right back in.
Line's been very vocal on that offside call, but it was handled by New Mexico and cleared back out.
Buffs got a little tied up between themselves, but they're able to throw it all the way down. But a little too hard, it's going to end up behind the net of Swanson to be icing on Colorado. Checking in on our New Mexico goaltender photographer storyline. I believe it was Bella Luke taking photos for the first 2 periods for New Mexico. And now it's gone back to Sarah Olivas. We saw in that first game, Kieran, that Olivas, being the backup of the day, was taking photos of her team. And now they're doing the same thing, cycling through who's holding the camera.
Gotta love your team photographers, just doing double duty.
Here comes Sophie O'Brien with some speed entering that zone. She gets pinned up down by the corner. Puck's still loose. Fighting for it is Cadden. She takes control. She puts a shot on, and it goes in. Alexa Cadden gets it barred down. Her second of the year, and Colorado keeps going. They're up 7-0. They make the extra point.
What a play by Cadden, just sneaking it right over the shoulder of Swanson, who's allowed 3 so far this period. We're just over 5 minutes in. Colorado continuing to dominate.
This is kind of what you expected to see from Colorado against this New Mexico team, considering what other teams have been able to do to New Mexico. This is 7-0.
This is quite the contrast from the men's D1 series earlier, as Colorado not able to put up a point on the board, and the Mary Marauders ended up outscoring the Buffs 14-0 on the weekend. The women's team, flipping the script. Penalty coming up here, looks like, Paxton.
It's going to be on Colorado. Cadden touches up. And it's going to be a hook on Emily Simon. Colorado with 2 penalties today. They haven't taken very many in January. In fact, they've taken none before today. But they'll be down a man. New Mexico with a chance here to put one on the board before they head back.
Big guns coming out for Colorado. Ellie Ewald in for the draw. Another great chance for the Lobos to put a point on the board this weekend.
You know Colorado doesn't want to be one of the teams that let up a goal to the Lobos. Phillips able to keep it in. She puts a shot on, save made by McLean, and she covers up.
Bench roars back to life again.
They're loving it from Morgan McLean. She gets some love from Sophie O'Brien. As our classic mid-2010s pop tunes continue overhead.
The women's team, their interns have some of the best playlists I've heard in this rink. I mean, men's D2 not far behind, but I love the variety.
Fischelli ahead to Ewald. Ewald, and a nice save getting across. Pushing over was Swanson. A really good chance for Colorado, short-handed. Keeping it in is O'Brien. O'Brien down to Fischelli. Fischelli puts one on, and Swanson holds on. Mia Fischelli with a goal today, looking for her second. But that first line down, Anna Masiello, due to the penalty kill, is going to head off. Now Masiello herself is going to come on, taking the face-off. New Mexico wins it. ACHA gets it out into the neutral zone. Sullivan ahead for Nasty, a little too far. But then she took the puck. Tori Hedges turned it over. Rowan Nasty trying to get around Hedges now. Puck down to the corner, over to Masiello. Masiello with 2 goals on the day. Looking to see if she can get a hat trick. Masiello working down low, circling around again. She puts one on, gets it through the crease, but Rowan Nasty couldn't put it past. Masiello can't reach over to keep it in. And here comes Brianna Taylor. Excuse me, that's Hinckley. 30 seconds left to go on the Simon penalty. 12:40 in this game. Buffalo is well on their way to their 11th win on the season. It'll head all the way down. Buffalo will get some fresh legs. Doing a good job on this penalty kill so far. They are 95% on the season. Terleska just throws it down, and that is going to do it. The Buffs kill the penalty once again. New Mexico 0 for 2 on the day. And Colorado continuing to uphold that stellar penalty kill that they boast. McDonald slides it to Sullivan. Long pass ahead for Terleska, but it got tied up at the neutral zone. Puck battle down on the boards. Sophia Paulson coming ahead. Paulson, she's had some great shot opportunities today, looking for her first of the season. Survey scans, gets it to Dupuis, but it was kind of in her skates. Dupuis rims it around. Paulson chasing after it. Loses that puck battle. But then the effort of Sophie O'Brien keeps the puck in the zone. Sophie O'Brien gets around a defender. Sophie O'Brien takes a shot and she scores. Sophie O'Brien makes it 8-0 Colorado.
Talk about a selling from O'Brien, just shrugging, some quick pounds down low.
She did that against Denver when they scored for the first time. O'Brien, it was kind of a weird, awkward little play that ended up in the back of the net, and Sophie O'Brien just shrugged it off. In that time, as the Buffs make it 8, she just shrugs it off. She does it all the time. In fact, she does it 7 times this season. Hairston with the puck across the blue line. Buffs are offsides. They got to tag up. And the ref goes ahead and blows that whistle. Colorado, they get the 2-point conversion. It's 8-0. Speaking of 2-point conversions, Kieran, we saw the Denver Broncos take down the Buffalo Bills in an absolute thriller. One of the best playoff games I have ever seen, period.
My goodness, was that exhilarating. We were here at the rink in between men's D2 and men's D1. And out in the hallway watching that game. We actually streamed the end of the 4th quarter so you could see our reactions. Go check out that stream.
A little bit bittersweet, though, as, of course, Bo Nix out for the remainder of the playoffs. He broke his ankle in that game. As here comes Katie Junta. Junta slides across to Taylor, but she couldn't get a shot on. That should be icing on Colorado. It is going to be. And we will get a face-off in front of Morgan McLean. And Kieran, Bo Nix being out for the remainder of the playoffs. It's Jared Stidham now who's going to have to take the helm and get under center. And we will see if he can turn this Broncos team into a Super Bowl winning one. Things it's a little bleak, I guess, the rest of the way. They'll have to face off against what we assume is going to be New England. But of course, we'll see how Houston can hold up. I think that'll actually be a much better game, Houston versus New England. Racing after it, Sowers and Hinckley. It is going to be won by Hinckley and icing on Colorado. It's pretty impressive by Abigail Hinckley winning that race against Sowers. Amelia Sowers is one of the faster skaters on this Buffaloes team. But chugging along was Abigail Hinckley, who likely been saying all day, Kieran, they're on the ice for so long, we're going to get a timeout by Colorado. As some J-Lo now plays in the stadium.
Once again, our DJing tonight, not disappointing.
Colorado, I'll say when they win this game, they'll get to 24 points on the year. They will hold on to that second spot. They will tie with Utah for first place in the WWCHL. Utah beat Montana State, and then they're done for the weekend. They don't play again until Wednesday, when they'll be up against Arizona State down in Tempe. And Kieran, they puck drop against Montana State was at 10:30 p.m., and then the game on Wednesday against Arizona State will be puck drop at 9:30 p.m. That is a really that sounds miserable, honestly.
Absolutely, Paxton. I mean, obviously this Pacific time, but I mean, it's gonna be really rough playing a game that late. Especially even when I go to professional games like at the NHL, those late night games at Ball Arena for the Avalanche, it's not fun, and it's definitely not fun for the players who have to.
I will admit, I forgot how time zones work, and that the game is in Tempe, Arizona, where it is an 8:30 p.m. local time puck drop.
But even if you're tuning in from the Mountain Time Zone, it doesn't get any easier.
Sullivan gets it out of the zone, ahead to Nasty. Piatagorski now slowly into the zone. Now Rowan Nasty circles down below the net. Nasty back up top. Cassie Grant into her skates. And it heads into the New Mexico bench. We see Kira Longenwalter there on the New Mexico bench, smiling. Looks like she's in good spirits after she went down with a pretty tough lower leg injury in the first period. But what a showcase of a captaincy, and what a leader to be back out there on the bench, hanging out with her team.
Doesn't get any better than that, Paxton. I can't think of better leadership.
And especially in a game like this, that's 8-0, where it seems like everyone kind of checks out. At times, it seems like even the players do that in these kind of blowout games. Sullivan overskated that puck. Cassie Grant feeds ahead to Masiello. Masiello, I suppose that's the biggest storyline of the third period, is can she get that third goal and get her first hat trick of the season. Her goals today, one of them was a rebound in front of the net that Sarah Olivas, the goaltender, kind of forgot or didn't realize that the puck was right at her skates, and Masiello just poked it through. Speaking of Masiello, she has the puck, slides it over to Sullivan. Sullivan, the puck kind of caught her off guard. It got a little on the heel of the blade, and she wasn't able to put a good shot on. Entering the zone was Kylie Phillips, but she lost the puck. Sullivan cleans it up. Fed ahead, caught by the right hand of Mia Fischelli, but she couldn't slap it down onto her stick. Entering is ACHA. ACHA shaken right off by Masiello, who gets it to Emily Simon. Simon, cheered on by her bench, collides with Katie Junta right above the circle. And then Terleska keeps it in as Taylor fell backwards and is now there in the neutral zone. Stick save made by Swanson. New Mexico will head to 0-8 on the year, still looking for that first win as a program. They are actually dead last in the independent division in the ACHA because The University of Washington holds that title. They're 0-4 on the season, and they give the tiebreaker to who's just played more games. So New Mexico, they have played some other teams that they have technically beat, but they aren't ACHA sanctioned games. After this one, as Izzy Mitchell puts a shot over the net, went over the glove of Swanson. After this game, some D2 hockey will be coming your way. We are right in the midst of that tournament that has been going on all weekend long and will continue into tomorrow. Kieran will be bringing you that game along with our president, Harrison Simeon. Should be a fun one to watch.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to playing the Friars of Providence College, coming all the way from Rhode Island to play Colorado in the BMHC Classic.
Got a lot of teams from all over the country in town for this tournament. Host cities include Boulder, Denver, over in Greeley with Northern Colorado. The whole multiple mountain states showcasing some D2 men's hockey. Amelia Sowers with the puck. Down in the corner, looking for a pass. She backhands it to Nasty. Nasty rolling around. Leaves it for Cadden. Cadden brings it back the other way. To Nasty again, going back and forth behind that net of Peyton Swanson. Now above the circles. Throws it down. Cadden. Looking. Nasty back to Cadden. Sowers. Under 6 minutes to go in this 8-0 hockey game. And Colorado doesn't make a whole lot of that possession.
Yeah, at this point, Colorado, they're up 8-0. There's really no sense of urgency to score another one, but it looks like the Friars are walking into the rink in preparation for their game against the Buffs.
That game will be here, streamed live on Sko Buff Sports. And then men's D2 will finish off the weekend on Martin Luther King Day tomorrow at 11 a.m. Here comes Fischelli with some speed. Fischelli slows up, waiting for some reinforcements. She gets them now between the hashes. She shoots, rebound. And it goes past Natalie Ewald. Kept in. First line entirely out now for the Buffaloes. Anna Masiello slowly creeping up above the right circle. Staying with that puck. Tiptoes along the blue line. Now changes course. Looking for a pass. She gets it in O'Brien. O'Brien with a slapper from the point. It bounced a little bit. Rebound and a score. Mia Fischelli. Her second of the day. 9-0 Colorado. And it looks like the Buffaloes aren't even going to go do the fist bump line after that one. They've done that plenty of times today and this weekend. Fischelli with 2 goals on the day. She has 17 and 18 on the season. She started the weekend with 14 goals, and she's going to come out of it with 18. She has just been on an absolute tear, wasting no time, knocking off no rust, coming out of the mid-season break, winter break. Zoe Dupuis takes a shot, goes off the blocker of Swanson. Dupuis looking for her first goal in quite some time. She has 2 on the season. O'Brien below the net, looking up top. Ahead to Dupuis. Dupuis throws it down, blocked in front. We'll see how aggressive Colorado's going to continue to be. The rest of this lineup kind of lackluster, and then that first line came on and immediately scored. It would not be the first time that New Mexico has led up double digits. In fact, they've done it multiple times. As here comes Brianna Taylor. Taylor puts a shot on, and a pad save made by Morgan McLean. Overall, I would say a more impressive performance from New Mexico. I know the score doesn't show it, But even though they lost by less goals on Saturday, it looks like they were hanging tough with the Buffaloes a little stronger today.
And we got to circle back and talk about Bella Luke again yesterday. Absolutely incredible performance. Over 45 shots on the net. She stopped 41 of them.
Yeah, she was absolutely incredible. That was pretty funny. Peyton Swanson threw her glove at Hairston, who was crossing in front of her crease. But yeah, Bella Luke was so good. She had to endure some tough shots. The Buffs were not taking it easy on her by any means. And it was really good fundamentals for a team that you look at all three of their goalies and their stats over the season. They are admittedly a little ugly, but Bella Luke was incredible. She stopped really everything. Only the shots she only let up were some shots that I don't think any goalie could have saved. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in this one. Here comes Hairston, ahead to Cadden, who will just kind of slow up and let the puck get immediately taken away from her. Rowan Nasty's still working hard. She comes down working below the goal line. Nasty, she has a goal today. Looking, gets it in front. Cadden couldn't get a stick on it. Minute 40 left to go. Nasty, Piatagorski with the puck. Piatagorski scored the first goal of the day on the power play. That was a really nice setup and deflection. Got the feed from Natalie Ewald. And it started, or opened the floodgates of all 9 goals that the Buffaloes had today. 11-5-1-1 is going to be their record on the season. Turnover in front. Sophia Luna couldn't slow it up to get a shot on, though. Lobos look a little gassed, but you cannot blame them at all. They have been working so hard all weekend long. You've got to tip your cap. In comes Hinckley. Hinckley trying to see if the Lobos can get one on the board before they head back to New Mexico. But instead it's going to be Anna Maciello on a 2-on-1 with Fischelli to her right. We'll see how the Buffs handle this. Fischelli is going to take a shot, and a save made by Peyton Swanson. 32.8 seconds separate the Colorado Buffaloes from ending the weekend 2-0.
Draw coming in, Lobos zone. One last chance for Colorado. The Lobos come away with it.
Brianna Taylor, who played the best hockey today for New Mexico. Emily Simon gets it ahead to Paulson. Speaking of Simon and Paulson, we'll see how Coach Wilburn wants to handle them in the lineup moving forward against UMass, and then a 4-game stretch against the Utah Utes.
Bench still letting McLean hear it.
The Buffaloes have not wavered on their passion and excitement for their teammate Morgan McLean, playing her first game and making her first saves this season for Colorado. Puck is going to come out into the neutral zone, as that is going to do it. 60 minutes have come and gone, and the Colorado Buffaloes put up 9 on New Mexico. They end the weekend 2-0, taking both against the Lobos. They will head into first place in the WWCHL, tying with the Utah Utes. The girls will meet at center ice for the final handshake line between the two games. A lot of love between New Mexico and Colorado for both of their goaltenders. New Mexico knows it is not easy the first years of the program with such a short roster and having to play against a good opponent such as Colorado. But Kieran, you gotta tip your cap to New Mexico all season long, and in this season series, I mean, up against Colorado, I know that they gave up 13 goals and didn't put in a single one, but really you got to give a bunch of props to these girls. Again, going in as a new program and weathering the storm.
Yeah, this is just, it was an incredible weekend to cover some hockey here in the rink. And looks like they'll join forces for one last circle as they'll salute the officials. And one last shout out to Kira Longenwater over there on the New Mexico bench, getting salutes from their team, to Juliana McDonald out there. Some incredible sportsmanship as Colorado salutes their home crowd.
Another real good weekend for this Colorado team. They've done nothing but win here in January, but now it is going to get tough for the Buffaloes, as next week we will be back here at the Rec Center for a 2-game series against the Minutemen of UMass. That'll be a couple of really good games. We will see how Colorado can face off against them and see if they can overtake Utah. And speaking of Utah, following that series against UMass, it is 4 games in a row against the Utes, 2 in Salt Lake City and then 2 of them here in Boulder. And that 4-game series could determine the WWCHL. Should be some really good stuff and really good hockey coming up for Colorado.
Absolutely. They're going to want to stay on top. The race to the top of the WWCHL, still anyone's game, and Colorado looking to retake that #1 spot here in the coming weeks.
The Providence Friars have come to town, and they will be facing off against the Colorado Buffaloes men's D2 team. That'll be coming up here in about an hour. We'll take a second for the ladies to clear the locker room. We'll resurface the ice, and then some more hockey will be coming your way here on Go Buff Sports. That's going to do it for coverage of women's hockey this weekend. Colorado goes 2-0. They win this one 9-0 against the New Mexico Lobos. I'm Paxton Haynes, joined by Kieran Warger, Nick Evans bringing you the broadcast, Jackie Rivera and Quinn Kreck on the cameras today. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you for some men's D2 hockey coming up later on Go Buff Sports.
Well, I believe when I see it on the field, right? I mean, we put up the graphic earlier, 18th ranked transfer portal class in the country. They were 19th last season, Harrison, and that didn't turn out so well. But again, the difference in this year's, I think, approach is going out and finding the talent in lesser highlighted places. It means these coaches are watching film. If they play ball, if they bring physicality, if they bring confidence, this team could have a new look this season.
And I think that's where Brendan Marion comes in as an extremely important addition. He's been on the recruiting trail, but I think he could be the establishment of an identity for this team. And that's what makes it so hard with the portal era and bringing in an almost entirely new team every year. You can't really establish a culture or a set identity. And you saw Colorado struggle with that last year without Shedeur Sanders, without Travis Hunter. Without any stars, they didn't really have anything they did that could just be a go-to and beat teams that way. This year, I think there's a lot more stability, there's a lot more production and proven style that can translate to wins in the Big 12. So, anything more to add?
No, I'm excited. I mean, the spring game's the first time we're going to see these guys on the field, but, I mean, the portal's still open. So, if you're out there, CU could use a corner right about now.
Yeah,
so.
they've lost some big names, too.
Taufik
Jordan
Byard.
Seaton, Taufik Byard, Marion Miller. But they've got some great players. Going into next year, alongside Shane Holcomb, I'm Harrison Simeon. Thank you for listening to Buff Banner. Back to you guys at the desk.
Colorado's own Chris Hudson has been named to the College Football Hall of Fame. The quarterback played from 1991 to 94 and had a decorated senior season, ending with All-American honors and the Jim Thorpe Award. Hudson becomes the 12th Buff to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, joining a group with Coach Bill McCartney, Rashad Salam, and more. Along with being an All-American defender, Hudson returned punts all 4 years. He snagged 15 total interceptions during his time, taking 2 back to the house, and leads Colorado all-time in interception return yards.
The men's Hoopers have played 9 games since our last show. On December 6th, the Buffs lost their first game